Hello everyone, come on inside and we are going to kick off the North Pole Village Quilt Along. Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Jennifer Long from Sew a Story. I'm an early childhood educator turned Riley Blake fabric designer, and today we are kicking off the North Pole Village Quilt Along. So this quilt is a fantastic size. It's like an interactive advent calendar. So you can make this quilt with or without these pockets. If you opt to make the pockets, they're great for putting little treats in. You can put a candy every day. You can put a piece of Lego or anything else that you create, maybe a little love note in each one. I've created it to feature the Santa's Workshop felt panel. So each of the characters has a little home, and you can do it in one of two ways. So you can fill up the North Pole Village quilt, and then every day one of the characters come out, or you can put the characters in as the days go on so that the kids still have lots of characters to play with throughout the month of December. So that's how we're going to be doing it today. We are just going to talk about all the options, because there are options. Hand embroidery, machine embroidery, pockets, no pockets, all kinds of things, applique, and just how to personalize it for yourself and the loved ones. And then we're going to talk about the whole pattern, what the quilt along looks like, and all the things. So I hope you come on in and join me. So if you haven't already, I'm going to bring this over there. If you haven't already, we just wrapped up the Santa's Workshop felt panel sew along. So it comes with a little, it's just one felt panel. Felt is so easy to sew. There's no fraying edges, so it's like cut and sew. And it comes with all these great characters. We talked about embellishing them. So head on over to the website and check out the free instructions for this felt panel sew along, and also find your favorite quilt shop that will carry the Santa's Workshop felt panel, and make sure you grab one. And we'll also put all the links down below. Once you have that made and you're ready to start, a few things that we're going to need. So number one is, of course, you need your pattern. So it's called the North Pole Village Quilt Pattern. And shops have it. So if you prefer a paper pattern, you'll just have to Google and find which shops are carrying this paper pattern. Otherwise, you can download it directly off the website right now. It's just called North Pole Village. It has the fabric requirements listed nicely on the back there, and as well as the extra supplies. And then it's fully illustrated, just as all of our patterns are. The fabrics are great and easy for shops to kit. So this is not a fabric collection. This is actually just basics. So you can pull your basics from your shop. You can pull your colors from your scrap bins at home. You can make it personalized. Oh my goodness, you can fussy cut on the doors. There's so many fun options. And I've done the fabric requirements so that it's really easy just to swap out. So you just do a one-to-one swap there, and then be able to swap out exactly how this is. Or you can also just change, so you can see that there are also requirements on each page. So on each block, pardon me, so that the blocks have their own set of requirements if you just want to make each block totally scrappy. So highly suggest grabbing the pattern first. And then we're going to go through some of the requirements that you need. Now, in this pattern, there are a lot of options. So you'll need to grab your pattern, and then just so that you have all your pieces for this quilt along, there is a free download. It's called the North Pole Village Quilt Along. And if you go to the website under fabric, again, we'll put the link in the bio, but under Santa's Workshop, because we're featuring this felt panel, this is the quilt pattern that is supporting that felt panel. There's this quilt along here, but you can also just do it on the search engine on sewastory.com. And this quilt along is an 8-week quilt along. Now it is an easy 8-week quilt along. I've spread them out, separated everything, so you have lots of time, and this is going to give you tons of time to get the quilt made and quilted and everything else ready for your countdown to begin on December 1st. So stay tuned with us and make sure you have lots of fun making this process, and then you're going to have such a wonderful time playing and enjoying and counting down the days this year and every year to Christmas. So in this quilt along, there is a schedule. So the schedule will look like this, and you'll know exactly what's coming up and what you're working towards. And then there is the fabric requirements. So this is what the fabric requirements look like, and then just a little bit of the options about the felt panel if you want it. So let's talk about what kind of supplies you need, what are extra, and what are some of your options to do inside the quilt pattern. All right, so once you get the quilt pattern, you can do a couple of things. There's a few things you can decide. So the houses are all traditionally pieced. There is snow on many of the houses. All the houses are a little snow on them, and then there's also snow flakes. So you can do scrappy white fabrics, or you can, use all the same. I just use a confetti cotton C120 Riley white, I believe it was, for the snow on top of everything. A couple options to decide before we begin is if you're going to have numbers on each of your doors. So if you're going to have numbers on each of your doors, you have two options. I'm including a download code in here if you have an embroidery machine that you can just simply stitch these out on your embroidery machine and have a lot of fun. They are applique on your embroidery machine, and they've got a really fun cover stitch. So we'll talk about that on that week, but you just need to make that decision if you're going to do an embroidery file or if you're going to hand embroider them or applique them. If you're going to hand applique them, you're going to want to have something like this, which is a fusible web, like a light sewable fusible web. There's also the words, and I've named each house something unique in your village. Of course, you can change the names if you want, but we have given you all the tools you need for these words, or you can, again, stitch them on your embroidery machine. So this is all thread, and it says Mrs. Claus Cookies, or it says Snow News, Arctic Aquarium, Birdseed, Cheese Shop, Jingle Bells, Flight School, Tree Farm. So there's all kinds of different wonderful houses inside the village. The fun thing about this is there's actually only 5 different pieced houses. So you'll see them all along the top, and then they just get mixed and matched and placed around throughout the whole quilt, throughout the 5 rows of the quilt. So it's a really fun and easy sew. So there's a couple of things deciding basically, are you going to do embroidery machine, or are you going to do hand applique or an embroidery? So that's decision number 1. And then decision number 2 is just sort of gathering your supplies. So you can be totally scrappy, or you can be controlled scrappy and follow along in here. And I've explained the cutting ahead of time. So, we'll go through the cutting next week and just sort of how you're choosing your fabrics. But I just want to make sure you're totally prepared this week. So you need the pattern, you need your fabrics and the requirements here, which are also, if you're ordering your paper pattern, they're also here. This is a fat quarter friendly pattern. So if you have a favorite fat quarter bundle that you'd like to use, or you're shopping, you want to kit it with fat quarters, it's fantastic for that. Of course, I highly recommend you getting the Santa's Workshop paddle snag one before they are all gone. Side note is they actually are evergreen, so they won't be all gone forever and ever, but they are selling, this is the season, so they are selling lots until they reprint them again. So thank you, Riley Blake, for that. If you're going to do any hand embellishment, you'll need embroidery floss. So it depends, again, if you're doing machine embroidery or hand, but I've curated a few colors here that I think go really well with my solids that I've chosen here in my basics, but you'll just need to choose ones that go together with yours. Since this is not a fabric collection, just choose ones that go together really well with yours. And if you didn't know yet, I'm doing like a soft launch for something that's coming later this month. So by the time we need it at the very end, it will be available. It's a product that I created with ThermoWeb together, and it's called Heat and Bond Sparkle Paste. And this is an amazing little product. So it comes in tons of colors, but again, I've just curated these colors to go with the fabrics that I've chosen. But Sparkle Paste is in a cute little container like this. The label looks like this, Sparkle Paste with Heat and Bond and Sew a Story. You can go over to the ThermoWeb website. Again, we'll put a link down below. And keep checking back when it's available. Ask your favorite shops to carry. If you are a shop, lots of great retailers. You can get it directly through ThermoWeb, Checkers, all kinds of great places. And this is so fun. So this is a great way to involve children in this if you want. Maybe you can add the little snow sparkle details on the snow fabric. And we'll talk through this in greater detail in this video series, but also in a number of video series. As this product launches, I'll be talking a lot about it. And it is a heat and bond product, as you can see at the top, which means that you can place it on and it can dry and stay like that. If you want it to be washable in the machine, then all you need to do is put a pressing paper on top and heat set it with your iron. And it is permanent sparkles, you guys. And it comes in just a whole bunch of wonderful colors, if you can see them all in there. So can't wait to hear what you think about that. And a few other things that you'll need. Hand sewing needle if you're going to do hand embroidery. Make sure you get the templates printed out. So inside the pattern there is download codes for templates for SVG cut files if you're going to use your cutting machine for anything, and your embroidery machine and embroidery files if you're going to be using that. So I can't wait to get started on this. So you're going to have your pattern, all the different things that you need. Oh, and don't forget to grab your fabric. So I have a great collection here of just a whole bunch of fun basics, and I'll be using those. And then most importantly, don't forget to sign up so that you are notified all of the time. If you haven't already, I am going to be doing a video every week on YouTube. So I'd love it if you liked and subscribed to this channel. It's really helpful for me. But also if you sign up directly for the sew along, then you'll get the emails so that you don't miss any of the tips and tricks that we do along the way, or if we have any special additions that come through. So I cannot wait to start the North Pole Village Quilt along with you. I will see you very soon next week, where next week we are going to be doing prepping your blocks and choosing our embellishments. We're going to talk through that. Then we do 2 weeks of assembling the houses. So we'll take 2 weeks to assemble all those houses. So it's, I told you, nice and easy and slow. We're going to be sewing the North Pole word blocks together. That's going to be in week 5 in October 2nd. Assemble the quilt. Add the applique snowflakes, which is just a fun little touch. Any embellishments that we want to add then. And then finishing your quilt. So we'll talk a little bit about, I did it on the long arm machine and blocked out my pockets. So we can talk a bit about that as well. Or you can just send it to your long armor or do it on your domestic machine. And yeah, we're going to have so much fun. So thank you so much for being here. Make sure you sign up for all the things, and I'll see you again next week for the North Pole Village. I almost feel like I should have Christmas music on, maybe on the last week. Okay, see you soon. Bye for now.